Hello everyone, it's me again. Today I was going to show you a flip through of this book, Animal Odyssey by Garver. It says colouring from the familiar to the fantastic, and it's full of pictures of animals, as you would imagine. This book I really like. Some of the pictures are simple, some of the pictures are not so simple, and we'll just get started on our flip through. You're going to see I've coloured, I think, 3 of the pages, but you can still see the designs. So here we have Return to the World of Garver's Art, Let the Animal Odyssey Begin. I believe he's got another book, Colour Odyssey. I'm not sure, I haven't got it myself. He's a famous tattoo artist, I learned after I bought this book, and you can see in some of these pictures that style of art comes through. So we've got this pig, this whale coming out of the waves. Then we've got one of my favourite scenes in the entire book, this fish underwater scene with all the beautiful coral. I'm saving this picture until I get really good at colouring because I do not want to ruin it. Then we've got a stingray and a panda tucking into some bamboo, some chipmunks and a lizard. This one with the swallows and the sunbeams. Personally, I feel like this page is a little bit empty. I don't know what I would fill these spaces with, but the actual drawings themselves are beautiful. Kangaroo. Again, I do feel like some of the pages are a bit empty. So obviously these zebras, they've got background. The kangaroo just sort of floats there on the page, but I guess that leaves room for you to interpret your own background. We've got a pug pulling a curious expression, and some kind of monkey. I'd like to be able to tell you what kind of monkey he is, but I'm not 100% confident on that. Thinking maybe a gibbon? Here, a very stylised bird. Here you can see the kind of tattoo origins of his art, and a walrus. Then we've got some jellyfish. This is one of my favourite scenes of the book, these jellyfish floating amongst the seaweed. A pangolin. Now, I don't know if all of you will have heard of pangolins. They are sadly the most trafficked animal in the world these days, and they are in desperate need of rescue in both Asia and Africa. All of the species of pangolin are endangered at an extreme level, and they have a little special place in my heart. One day I dream to go to Vietnam and rescue pangolins. Look them up if you don't know much about them. They're really interesting little animals. That's my nature lesson over. Then here we've got a cockatoo. I'm going to go for a cockatoo. Some kind of wild bird, tropical bird. And fish. Some river fish by the looks of it. And he looks like a terrapin. He may be a tortoise or a terrapin. He hasn't got flippers, so he's definitely not a turtle. Now this one I really like, the cat. He's in amongst some flowers. But then this page, again, it just seems really empty. I don't know if you're supposed to colour it, fill it in yourself. That's not really what I like to do in my colouring books. I like it to be there and I can just colour it. I'm not an artist, I'm a colorist, not I'm a colouring. So that's that one. Then we've got a giraffe, or 2 giraffes, didn't see him there. They're all stylised, and a goldfish. We've got a lovely tiger, probably a Sumatran tiger, and a butterfly with this gorgeous flower. You could really fill that with colour. And then we've got a bison or a buffalo, probably a buffalo, and a nautilus. Again, I really love nautilus. They are just really crazy creatures, and I'm always one for liking the unusual things in the world. Then we have a scorpion. Not a major fan of scorpions, I find them a bit creepy, but I'll probably colour him in. And we've got a majestic lion. I believe this is a red cardinal, correct me if I'm wrong. He's amongst some flowers, and then we've got this wolf. I don't quite know what's going on with this. Like, I get the idea, but it's just a bit strange. I don't know, I might have to paint it out, I'm not sure. And then here we've got this shark. Now, is it a basking shark or is it a nurse shark? That is the question. But I did study sharks, so I should know, but I will find out before I colour him in. Or her. Then we've got this gorgeous swan. Very majestic. And a snake amongst a flower, again, with a lovely forked tongue. Here we have a squirrel. Now I really like this one. I love how swirly all of the fur is and the tail. Do this in sort of oranges, gingers, make him a nice red squirrel. Here this picture's mainly flowers and foliage. We have got a couple of ladybirds, a large ladybird and a small ladybird. So there are animals. And we've got these some kind of goat or deer or something like that. And a butterfly. He's got the eyes, this butterfly. It's kind of gothic, sort of. Again, I suppose you can see the tattoo influence. A set of 3 horses. I don't know if it's just me, but this middle horse looks really scared. His eye is a bit, whoa, what's going on here? But that's probably just me. One thing just I will show you here now. Just be really careful when you're colouring, because I don't know how well it shows up, but there is some kind of transfer from where I coloured that butterfly. It's obviously transferred the ink from this page onto that page. It's not major, it comes out with an eraser, but I must have forgotten to put a piece of paper in. I always do, but clearly not this time. Then we've got another bird. I'm not confident enough to say what kind of bird he is, but he's beautiful. Then a llama. I don't think he's an alpaca, I think he's a llama. And then a spider sitting in her web. If you don't like spiders, then perhaps not the colouring page for you. A pigeon. And another bird, perhaps a crow, I'm not sure, he looks a bit frilly for a crow. And then a fox with the floral pattern sitting, oh that's his tail is made of leaves, so he would be quite unusual to colour. Then we've got some more whales, probably great blue whales here, big blue whale. And then we've got he's not a unicorn, he doesn't have a horn. Perhaps a Pegasus. That could be done in some really beautiful bright colours, make him look magical. And then we've got a rabbit. I love rabbits. Crazy rabbit lady over here. And a centipede. Now I really hate centipedes of all insects. Centipedes creep me out the most. I really don't like them, but I will colour it in. I'm probably going to make him rainbow so he seems a lot more friendly. We've got some penguins. Probably need to speed this up. We've got an elephant that I've coloured, and oh, again, I should know this creature. I know what he is, but it's not in my head right now. Oh, I don't have time to ponder it. I just don't. And then a rhino. Now, this one is all swirly. I kind of want to do him in a 60s, kind of the colours from the 60s, make him look like a bit of a 60s rhino. Over here we've got waves, and if you look closely, there are little dolphins peeking their noses out of the waves. A gorilla, very handsome gorilla. And then an owl, all done in florals. Now this is one of my favourite pages, as you can see I've marked it off to colour soon. Some fish, and a heron. A double page spread of some koi in amongst some lilies. I like colouring fish, koi especially. A raccoon, a stork. So as you can see, there's loads and loads of pages in this book. A fish, another jellyfish. I really like jellyfish as well, colouring that. A dog and an armadillo. Another koi and a stag beetle. One thing I really like about this book is you don't get the classic animals all the time. It's a double page spread of some swallows or swifts. He goes a bit wild. He does animals you might not have heard of, animals you might not have seen. There's some kind of cow, a swordfish, and it's not all your cutesy animals, it's your stag beetles and your armadillos. There's a camel, some more fish hanging around in some weed. There we've got some kind of sheep, goat with that beard, I'm going to say he's a goat. And an octopus and a pufferfish with a massive chin. Some angelfish and some sea otters. Now these are the cutest. Sea otters are becoming quite popular, and who can blame them, they're adorable. We've got some lovebirds snuggling up. What looks to be a baboon or some other primate. An eagle. Now here, this one goes into a slightly different style, more fantasy, more fairy tale, but I am a massive snail lover. Again, something unusual, not many people love snails, so I will be enjoying colouring this one. A cockerel, or a rooster, depending on where you're from. A hammerhead shark, again done in the swirly 60s style. Now this one is a skull, a bird skull with some feathers. Quite tribal. I like this one, be good to colour it in. Make the feathers really bright and the skull really dark, kind of gothic maybe. Then we've got a bee in the same style as that butterfly from earlier on. A crayfish. I love his little stalky eyes. A selection of cats, some with wild patterns on. Some kind of honeycomb cat up there. And then we are finished, and then here's a little bit about the author, Chris Garver, some of the small pictures, and then that is that really. So I think it's a pretty good book. I mean, some of the pages are probably not as complex as some of you are looking for in a colouring book, but I find them relaxing to colour, some of them. Some of them are going to be a challenge. And the paper is not poor quality at all. It's nice and thick. Probably not as thick as some books, but by no means thin, and I'm sure you could use a range of media on it. So that was Animal Odyssey, Colouring from the Familiar to the Fantastic by tattoo artist Chris Garver. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, it means a lot. Bye for now.